Hello everyone! The Burning Legion has invaded Azeroth once again, and after Khadgar and the Kid and Tor teleport Dalaran to the Broken Isles, a Ravenhold courier approaches us with a message from Yorach Ravenhold himself.
Your presence is requested in the Hall of Shadows at once.
He's requesting our presence within the Halls of Shadows, where 3 different plans to obtain an artifact are ready to proceed. They want us to be their blade in the dark that vanquishes their foes, and it's up to us to decide which one to go for.
I'm close to locating a foe we've been hunting for years. With a bit of help, we can take her out and lay claim to her daggers.
Valera Sanguinar, longtime friend and former Arena Group member of Brawl Baremantle and Varian Rin, she's also a member of the Uncrowned. She wants us to go after the Fangs of the Devourer, currently wielded by Akari Shadowgore, one of Kil'jaeden's personal assassins. Every attempt on our life always ends the same. She's gone before we even arrive, but not this time. They've been working with context to find Akari, so we're finally going to take the Fangs for our own purposes.
I'll meet you upstairs in glorious goods when you're done. Another one of Khadgar's dogs has been nosing around, asking too many questions.
We're told to go to each contact to see what they know, and as we go around the city, let's talk a little bit about the history of these daggers and why they're worth going for. These daggers may have passed through the hands of a master weaponsmith, but their danger wasn't born of his hands. No, these are the Fangs, ancient yet well preserved, taken from the maw of a slain fellhound. This creature was more dangerous than any of its like that we've ever seen, and this particular hound, called Gorma the Devourer, he was the pet of the great enemy Sargeras. He must have cared deeply for this hound, in his own way of course, for he sculpted its power, gifting its sharp teeth with enough shadow energy to pierce reality itself. When the Legion invaded the New World, Gorma would often accompany them, tearing enemy soldiers to shreds. Between battles, the Fellhound's Eredar caretakers would collect the shadow energy dripping from its fangs, using it to craft powerful new weapons and reagents. The end to the Hound came on an unremarkable world. It had already been pacified, its leaders corrupted, and its heroes were slain. A child, burning with righteous fury for his dying world, crept into the Legion's stronghold, and once in there, he killed several Eredar guards and Gorma while they rested. When Sargeras saw his slain hound, he was consumed with rage. That world, and all who lived upon it, were scattered as ashes in the great dark. Such a quick death was perhaps a small mercy for them, but though Gorma had died, its usefulness to the Legion had not ended. A dreadlord, Mephistroth, believed that Gorma could still serve the Legion. He extracted the Fellhound's fangs, and he took them to a great demon forge on the Eredar homeworld of Argus. There were many challenges in preserving the Fang's dark energies. Mephistroth dared not handle the task himself, but his subordinates, they were eager to distinguish themselves despite the great risk. But the Fang's twisted power often proved far too dangerous. When it pierced their minds and inflicted unspeakable agony, the Dreadlord simply discarded them, giving their souls to the Demon Forge and finding another servant to take their place. In the end, their work was successful. The Fangs had been sharpened to a permanent edge, their shadow powers preserved for all time. Mephistroth had created 2 of the deadliest weapons the universe had ever known. You know, besides all the other artifacts that we get. Now these daggers could twist the air and bend the light, allowing their wielders to conceal themselves effortlessly. He presented the daggers to Sargeras, who was greatly pleased. Gorma had been a terror on the battlefield. In the hands of a skilled assassin, its fangs would be a terror in the shadows. Now it took some time for Sargeras to find someone worthy of wielding the Fangs of the Devourer. Loyalty was definitely a concern. Skilled assassins, they're deceptive by nature, all too capable of betrayal. Sargeras would not abide the thought of Gorma's legacy falling into the hands of the enemy. After a long search, Sargeras found someone suitable to carry these daggers into battle. It was an Eredar tracker named Akari who had distinguished herself in several Legion invasions, silently murdering those who suspected that the demon's promises, they were laced with doom. She was summoned to Argus and told of the great honor being offered to her. Sargeras promised Akari that she would become a fearsome instrument of death, one of the deadliest creatures alive in any known realm. The price for such power was for Akari to give up her free will. If she wanted to be this living weapon, betrayal would have to become impossible. It was a grim bargain, but one that Akari accepted. Beneath the surface of Argus, there are dark places to be found. In these secret chambers, weapons are forged and wills are broken. Akari spent centuries down there, her essence being shaped and molded, intertwined with the dagger's power. The souls of other Eredar assassins were sacrificed and bound to hers, granting her the experience of 100 lifetimes and thousands of kills. Just as Gorma had been changed, so was she. She emerged from those chambers, a remorseless construct of death, perfectly obedient to Sargeras. He knew that the daggers were safe in her hands because her hands were now an extension of his will. And in her hands, the daggers spelled doom for those who opposed the Legion. Her first mission was on a small militaristic world. Its inhabitants, they would have fought hard against the Legion invasion. Though they would have fallen eventually to direct force, Sargeras believed that they might be vulnerable to fear and paranoia. With her newly granted powers, this world was a perfect test for Akari as she infiltrated its stronghold all by herself. Within a month, the world was in chaos. Tales of an unseen assassin had spread like wildfire, and as heroes and leaders died silently, the world's warriors broke into factions, believing each other to blame for Akari's assassinations. When the Legion did finally reveal itself, the world begged to surrender. An eternity of servitude seemed far better than living in fear of daggers striking from the shadows. She had passed her test in stunning fashion. She was brought back into the ranks of the Legion, now to support their efforts directly. Akari proved that she was an indispensable ally. Her weapons allowed her to play with kings and other leaders like toys. Not only could she eliminate whoever she wanted, she could also take their place in disguise, perfectly mimicking their appearance and manner. A world does not fall because of a single assassin, but it certainly falls more quickly. A dagger through the right person's heart can win a battle or topple a kingdom. A panicked army that just lost its leader, it's more easily destroyed than a stalwart, determined force. The Legion already had plenty of experience in corrupting weak minds and mortal hearts. Now Akari, she was the demon's proof against failure. Whenever someone had the strength or the sense to resist temptation, her blades handled the rest. Indeed, she was Sargeras' asset, loyal and unquestioning. But even though her will had been removed, her guile remained. She made the request to Sargeras to allow her to roam the Twisted Nether for a time. Curious to see how this would further the goals of the Legion, the Dark Lord agreed. She spent her time skulking amongst the ranks of Sargeras' own armies, rooting out discontent and erasing ambitious demons who hoped to seize power at the Legion's expense. She became skilled in the art of interrogation, able to inflict untold pain and suffering upon any creature who could scream. She also built a citadel on a dead world to hold prisoners and extract knowledge from them. Over time, her actions amongst the army, it created malcontent within the Legion. The demons imagined her daggers in their throats, and their constant fear of her inspired thoughts of escape. When the location of Akari's citadel became known to the rest of the Burning Legion, she made a show of abandoning it. It had become useless over time, an unhelpful symbol, but it had served its purpose. She would return to the citadel in time, but only in secret, and only to either prepare for particularly difficult invasions, or to interrogate particularly important prisoners. When she did return to Sargeras, she returned with new skills and a new philosophy. Fear, it was a double-edged sword. It was useful, but not always the right choice. It's true that an unseen assassin inspired terror, but an unknown assassin, that one inspired complacency. An enemy could not prepare to face a danger that seemingly did not exist. Akari dedicated herself to become a silent killer, truly invisible, and her work continued. She's not entirely invisible yet though, since after asking around the city, we finally find someone who can point us in the right direction.
It seems fate is on your side. Akari is in this very city as we speak, spying for her masters. I will gladly tell you where, in exchange for a rune of portals. Until then, our business is complete.
A rune of portals was the reagent used by mages to create their portals in the past, but it was eventually removed from the game, and as such, they're not exactly easy to come by. Archmage Cylindra, Kirentor's portal master, she is a study in the center of town. Now we rogues aren't particularly welcome there, nor would she simply hand the rune over, even if we were, but who said anything about asking? As we sneak into her study, we avoid her fire traps and arcane sentries, and we bring the rune to Valzoon.
Excellent. You will find Akari in the Legerdemain Lounge.
Akari, your time has come.
The lounge has been secured by our order, and up the stairs we find our target.
Akari retreated upstairs as we arrived. She's all yours.
I should thank you. You've saved me the effort of finding you. Kil'jaeden will be pleased when I bring him your head. One by one, you will all fall to the Fangs. Kirel Volos!
You have
think
Fangs.
my master's so foolish?
It was all a ruse, that lying demon scum. We should have known. Let's show Valzoon what happens to people who dare cross the uncrowned.
Valzoon, I will be your death!
Stop! Stop! I did not know. I swear it. I can still help you. I can take you to Akari's stronghold. Oh, thank you for seeing reason. Ere Dakur Shudas Erzul Kodai. It is done. The way to Shadowgore Citadel is open. Akari is just across the Citadel from you. With your skill, you should be able to reach her undetected.
Prepare yourselves, minions! Our Lord requires us on the field of battle! Our enemies will feel the Fangs' agonizing bite! They will all perish! You were dead the moment you arrived here. Try to keep up. Enough! Take them to the holding cell. Lord Kil'jaeden will be most pleased. Move out, armies of Kil'jaeden! Glory awaits!
That jailer presents an opportunity for your escape.
Xerus, deal with them. We have nearly made contact.
I herald your endless torment. Welcome the embrace of the twisted dark. They will devour your flesh until nothing remains.
Kill them, fools! I will not be denied my destiny! Welcome, Lord of Flame. Welcome, Kil'jaeden.
You have done well, Akari. You have earned my blessing. Azir Manari Kirel, Hakim Manari Galad!
The Fangs. Their power is beyond comprehension. I am your humble servant, my lord.
It is time for your true test. Use the Fangs to dismantle Azeroth's kingdoms from within. Let their shattered husks pave our path to victory!
They will taste blood in your name. Let us finish this, once and for all. Do you feel the Fangs bite, withering the flesh from your very bones? Mephistros, guide my hand. I will not fail. I have broken entire worlds from the inside out. Azeroth will crumble. No more games. Join me in the Nether.
The Citadel has begun a self-destruct sequence. Make your way to the portal once you have the Fangs. Ah, you made it. Well done. Valeera said you would know where to meet her upon your return. Not wise to keep her waiting. Until our paths cross again.
We may never know what compelled Akari to sacrifice her free will in the service to Sargeras, but there can be no doubt that she served him well. She embraced the intricacies of fear and knew how to strike it into the hearts of her victims. When confronting those without fear, she skillfully eliminated them, and when terror became counterproductive, she learned how to kill without being noticed at all. These lessons were once employed by the Burning Legion, and now they belong to its enemies. Remember that Sargeras chose her very carefully, making sure that Gorma's legacy would not fall in the hands of the Legion's enemies, and now that's exactly what happened. We will use the Fangs of the Dark Titan's favorite pet and wield them in the war against the Legion. Only time will tell how Sargeras is going to respond to this, but that's a tale for another time. For now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time, guys. See ya!